Just last week, Atari dropped a reveal trailer for Fatal Run 2089, a follow-up, successor, reboot, something or other. We'll figure that out in a second. But to the original Fatal Run that released on the Atari 2600 and 7800 back in 1989 and 1990. We're going to take a look at that reveal trailer, look at some things you might not have noticed, and see what we can learn about this forthcoming game right after this.
This video brought to you in part by Tommy and the Order of Cosmic Champions. This exciting and heartwarming coming-of-age Gen X novel is available now. Check the link for more info.
Hey there, welcome back to Gen X Grown Up. I'm John, and I am a Gen X Grown Up. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. Now, as soon as I saw this trailer for Fatal Run, it smacked me like, whoa, this is way, way, way radically different and improved some 30 years on over the original Fatal Run, as you could imagine. But that's not the method that is being taken with all of these old franchises. Look at all the Recharged series that's, you know, just kind of a logical progression of the original, but it's still kind of an arcade game. This looks to be a combat arcade racer. And now, the premise, by the way, in Fatal Run is that a comet has impacted the Earth or something and caused this plague, and the only way to save the human race is you have in your car the code or the mechanism that can put in this rocket that gets launched and saves the planet. And now, when I first saw the name, Fatal Run 2089, I thought, oh, a sequel, a follow-up. Then I remembered, checking the manual, the original Fatal Run takes place in 2089. So the year is just an indicator this is a different game. It's not a follow-up. It really takes place in the exact same time frame. So it seems to be a complete reimagining of the original Fatal Run. Now, we don't have a release date for this yet, but there's a lot of detail that we can see in this barely a teaser trailer, this reveal trailer. It's like 50 seconds long. Let's go and check it out and see what we can deduce. Here we go. First frame of the trailer. Let's start through this thing. Overview of the car. See some machine guns on there. And the first thing, when I saw this right away, I thought, reminds me of Carmageddon. Remember that old computer game? That's great. And then, by the way, I know I always mention our merch store over at GenXGrownUp.com/merch. I looked. Yeah, we have Carmageddon designs on t-shirts and mugs and stuff that you can find. I couldn't believe it. And a lot of different ones, too. But it looks like you can add and modify it to your car, from what I have read. So all these different, like 60 some odd different modifications and pickups. Okay. And a variety of different cars. While that wasn't in the teaser trailer, they did mention in some other materials that you could have a variety of different cars that did let you do different things. Now you can see different tires on this one versus the others, more traction, grip, typical, you know, arcade racer kind of thing. And then this artwork really reminds me, it's like, it's almost Frank Miller-esque, like Sin City looking artwork. It reminds me quite a bit of that in a rougher, more scratchy kind of way, but you're hanging out. I can see the city and the horizon where we're going. I had to pause on this because look what he's got in his pocket. The Atari 2600 Fatal Run. He's got a big pocket or a small version of the cartridge. Maybe it's just the cartridge, not the box. Yeah, anyway, he's in his car. Maybe that's the thing he has to take to the end of the race to save humanity. And then he's very Carmageddon-y here. He's got the Band-Aid too. And the Frank Miller thing, like the Band-Aid across the nose. Anyway, I just noticed the art style was reminiscent of that. All right, so let me get into some arcade racing, some jumps, stuff like that. Oh, right away I noticed at this point you can see a couple of places. There are two different places with directional arrows that show you can go this direction or that direction. Branching paths that you can take on this race. Also, unlike Fatal Run, I also read that the original Fatal Run had 32 different levels to go through, and this 2089 has only 20 different levels, which I will take to mean unique maps, environments to race in, right? Yeah, okay, so something I want to point out, but I'm going to wait till a good place to pause here. Okay, this is a couple of really interesting things here, and the first is I noticed these flames. There's like 4 flames in the distance. Those look like they must be like a checkpoint or gates to go through or those sort of things, because as you cross through them, saw some stuff crashing. I also want to pause here because I noticed also in this trailer, I'm constantly pausing, I know, rarely unpausing, but there's no HUD. There's no information about ammo or shields or anything, or engine or anything. However, look on the back of the car. Those 4 bars of color look like they're directly pulled from the 4 bars of color that are in the HUD of the Atari 2600 game. Now, the 7800 had a much more involved HUD, that had like all kinds of readouts and gauges and everything, but the 4 bars, and they definitely change. I've seen in different clips from this trailer, they're different heights. So first I thought, oh, maybe they just moved the whole HUD to the back of the car so you know what's going on without having to look around. But then I saw some other screenshots of the game that had some HUD elements in the corners, so I guess there's no guarantee that it's actually HUDless, although I love a HUDless game. It's more immersive. It reminds me, the first time I ever played Halo on the Xbox, and you had on the stock of your gun, you could see how many bullets you had left. That brings you into the game. Instead of looking in the corner for bullets, you can look right on your gun in world. I like that. So maybe the HUD comes and goes. Maybe you can turn it on or off. But I like the idea of just you in the car, and you can see what's going on the car. So interesting. There's one of those checkpoints. There's another forked decision. Looks like I can go left or right. So branching in this map gives me the idea that it's more replayable, more stuff that you can do, more reasons to go back and do the game again. Different cars there. I also noted, skipping through these cars, I read in some of the material over on Atari.com that there are different co-pilots, co-drivers that you can have to ride with you. Now that reminds me of the mechanic they had in Lunar Lander Beyond, where you could have different pilots give you different abilities, but also they're kind of like perks or buffs. You can pick any one co-pilot, I guess, to give you, maybe he's more efficient with fuel, or maybe he's better with tires. Who knows what benefits you can get out of it, but interesting there. Let's see, go through. Only the fastest survive. So now we see some more environment. Of course, very varied environment compared to the original Fatal Run, including like destructible stuff and like twisting 3-dimensional stuff. Like here, like all these fluorescent tubes that you're driving under. The world is kind of like in a tube, it looks like. Another tunnel. More checkpoints. There's another bad guy. Look at the varied designs. I happen to pause this just the right spot. My car is flashing green. I'm guessing that was a pickup I just grabbed. And then the different designs. Let's look a little SUV of this guy, or a little Jeep that you're fighting. Also, this last bit here shows the other part of the game that I find very interesting, and that's boss battles that, of course, didn't exist in the original Fatal Run, but are here. So here's this giant truck. And then you can see what almost looks like an Ecto-1 or something, like this big modified, and like a station wagon or a hearse or something. And then, look at this big monster truck that you're chasing in this thing. And he's got a big mine hanging on the back of him. That's bad news for me. Okay, that's a lot, so I paused it mostly. So let's run through one more time to just see all that stuff in context. It's a very short teaser trailer, so here we go. Yeah, so there's our car, the variety of cars, as we noted. The art style. Yep. Some big leaps, some big jumps. You caught no air in the original Fatal Fury, so that's new too. Look at the stuff. I gotta pause here because like the stuff collapsing on you, I wonder if that's something you can trigger to actually hurt other people, or whether it's just something like an event that happens when you come across a certain part of the map. Cool and interesting either way. Looking forward to finding out whether you have control over the environment or those are just events. I'm guessing the latter. Checkpoint there, I'm guessing. Forked decision. Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. It makes me want to play Carmageddon. Here comes those bosses, right? Yeah. Boss battle. There's the Ecto. Fatal Run. 2089. Pretty radically different from the original that came out 35 years ago now, and understandable. I think it's pretty clear that this is not a recharged version of Fatal Run. This is a reimagining of the original. It's not even a sequel. It's a rewrite of the original, take place in the same time frame, but now with modern sensibilities of a combat racing shooter sort of game. Now, the one flaw that I have, the complaint in all of the Fatal Run series, and really it's in a lot of science fiction series, that just a nitpick, but if the concept is that you have the cure or the mechanism to provide the cure for the human race, why are all these other guys trying to kill you in their cars? If I don't make it and I die, the Earth goes. And you know where they live? The Earth. So shouldn't they be like a motorcade escorting me to the end of the 20 levels so that I can put the thing on the rocket to save the entirety of the Earth? Reminds me of the logic of the Cold War when we were kids. You know, it's like mutually assured destruction. Who's going to launch the nukes first? Doesn't matter. Destroys the Earth, so anyway. That has nothing to do with this game, just something that bothered me about the original Fatal Run, and it appears to be the same in this one. But without that, you wouldn't have a cool racing game. You would just have a motorcade. That's all you would have. What do you think about Fatal Run 2089? Does it look like it's for you? Anything in the trailer that I missed that you noticed? Please let me know down in the comments. In the meantime, some links to some other recent games here and here that I have covered. Certainly hope you found something to enjoy in this video. Can't wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.